Hello, welcome to Video Mania 2. I'm the man behind the counter, Duncan, and today we're going to talk about another physical media release. I know I'm a little late with this one, but I didn't have a chance to order it or watch it until a lot more recently, but it was the new 4K of Escape from New York, which is an iconic movie in my opinion, and I'm going to explain why. But obviously from an iconic director, John Carpenter, I'm not the hugest fan of his. There's people that are more hardcore fans of his, but I am a big fan of his still. I love the original Halloween, The Fog, Escape from New York, They Live, and one of my all-time favorites is Vampires, with James Woods and Thomas Ian Griffith. That was one of his more recent movies, and that one's still over 20 years old now. Wow, how time flies. And I even like Ghosts of Mars, even though I know that's not his best one. I'm kind of in the minority on that, but I did like it too. But John Carpenter, though, I mean, he's made so many great movies. He's a great director, obviously. So, Escape from New York, obviously one of his early classics. So I'm going to talk about the movie a little bit, and then I'll talk about the picture and sound quality from this Shout Factory release. Now, this movie is directed by John Carpenter, obviously. It stars Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken. It also stars Harry Dean Stanton, Adrienne Barbeau, Isaac Hayes, among others, and Ernest Borgnine. So you have a great cast here. And the plot is it takes place in the future. This movie was made in 1981, and it takes place in the future of 1997. And crime got so bad that they just decided, to take care of the prison population problem. We're just going to take all of New York and just wall it off, and that's where all the criminals go. No one gets out. We have a wall around it, and there's, patrols. I mean, you're not getting out of there. So that's where they put everybody. Now, the movie starts out is a radical group overtakes Air Force One, and the president's on board, and they want to crash it into New York. And it does crash into New York, but the president gets in his escape pod. He's played by Donald Pleasance, who was Dr. Loomis in the Halloween movies. So he gets in the escape pod and escapes, from the plane crash, but he's in New York. So the authorities realize in order to get him out, there's only one man for the job, and that's Snake Plissken, played by Kurt Russell here, who's great. And Snake Plissken, nowadays there's always, a new movie or a couple releases every year now. For a while now, it's like the new anti-hero. Well, Snake Plissken was one of the earlier ones. Before that was the really cool thing to do. So Snake Plissken was here. He was a criminal, but he had a good military record, and he was well known and respected for his ability. Maybe not, he's not the greatest guy in the world or the nicest, but he's going to go in there and get the president out, and they're like, we'll give you a full pardon if you get the president out of there. And there's some stuff he has on him, some vital documents and recordings on him, so we need you to get him out, and you're about the only one that can pull it off. And they give him a glider, and he goes into New York and goes on his adventure and confronts a bunch of different people and looking for the president. So that's basically the plot. And now let's talk about the picture quality. This movie, I really like the picture quality here, because it still has that filmic feel. There's a little bit of grain, but it looks very, very good. I really like it, because sometimes I get hesitant. Do I want to upgrade because I don't want it to look too good? It's still part of me, the film purist at heart. I kind of want it to look like it did growing up, not necessarily so pristine and perfect. And I was like, but it doesn't look like it did when I was growing up. I still want it a little bit different. I guess that's the best way to explain it. Now, here, this captures that balance really well. I'll let you look at the artwork here. Here's a slip cover, and it's basically the same in here. And you have your discs, 4K, Now, this movie, it should also be noted that Studio Canal actually did the restoration on this, and it was released overseas. So this is Shout Factory released it's the American release. Now, I have to say, like I was talking about earlier, this is like the perfect balance of not looking too good, but still looks very good. So this is the best it's ever looked, but still retains the way it should look, I guess. I'm trying to explain this the best I can. So anyway, the colors, this is a darker movie, so there's not a ton of colors, but you can see everything very well, even though, you know, it takes place mostly at night. And the buildings and some of the signage and stuff, it has a little more detail. Snake Plissken's jacket at the beginning of the movie, you can really see the details of his leather jacket. And the escape pod the president uses is like this red egg, and that really pops out, you know, throughout the rest of the movie. So this is a very good looking presentation here. Now let's go to the audio. It's a Dolby Atmos, but this is an older film, so it doesn't have as much pop or, you know, as much thunder as some of the newer releases, but it's still very good sounding. Some of the background noise, like Snake Plissken's basically in a wrestling ring and he has to fight, and you can hear the crowd noise very clearly, and it sounds good here. So it's a good thing without overly remastering it and just making it overtake everything. So this is a good balance here. The dialogue is crisp and clear. The gunfire isn't as loud, but it's fine. You're not going to be like, man, I wish this sounded better. It won't be that way. This is a good release here. So Shout Factory really delivered on this one. So I'm glad I finally had a chance to pick it up and watch it. It's a great movie. So that's all I have for this one. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think of Escape from New York, Shout Factory's release of this, anything else like that. I'd appreciate it. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you like older movies, more iconic movies, as well as ones that's fallen under the radar, and some occasional new releases. Give Video Mania 2 a like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But that's all I have for today. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.